All right, it's time for entertainment, and Miss G is here. Hello and welcome.
Hey, you sound like Nana Nzako. Anyway, thank you. How are you doing, Israel?
Well, how about you?
Very well, thank you. So I'm sure you've heard by now, because it's been trending all through today, that our own Shatta Wale is not a dancehall king.
Well, they're saying the music he's doing is not dancehall.
It's pop. It's
some high life.
High life. So
Rexoma
exactly. So Rexoma says that Jamaicans will never recognize Shatta Wale.
What has happened to us is they started during our time. That is why high life or our traditional music was diluted, and they started calling, we mixed funk to high life, and we started calling it burger high life. That is where the dilution started. Then it went on and went on, and then you see the bands started mimicking the American musicians, and it went on and went on, and then now you see all the top Ghanaian artists, even if he's playing high life, he wants to call it dancehall or hip life. Listen, I've listened to 3 or 4 Shatta Wale songs, beautiful songs, big hits. Every aspect of the song, to me, is his own creation of a new brand of high life, but he prefers to call it dancehall. Why that? And look, he's using different instruments to play some of the elements of high life. Baby, 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 is that this is typical high life. Has nothing to do with dancehall, but he prefers to call it dancehall because he looks up to them. Jamaica, small country like Kumasi, they believe in themselves, they preserve their culture, marketed it throughout the whole world, and everybody's making them. Ghanaians wants to be like them. It would have been far much more beautiful if I had my way. I would have advised Shatta Wale. He would have been the king of high life around the globe, because most of the things he's doing has more high life element in it. Jamaicans will never accept him as a dancehall artist, but he sits in Ghana, he says he's a dancehall king. Meanwhile, to him, I see him as a high life king.
All right, so I'm waiting to see the response by Shatta Wale. I'm sure by tomorrow he'll start tweeting.
The comment he made is fair.
But very fair, but would Shatta Wale accept it as a fair one? That's another thing. So I'm sure by tomorrow we get to see Shatta Wale's tweets.
I'd urge him to take it as a fair comment. I mean, take it in his stride.
Well, if
we love his music.
If he takes it as a fair comment, it means that some other people who are dancehall artists are having,
a field day.
Exactly.
Oh, but I mean, Shatta. I mean, just take it.
Okay.
Just take it. Because we're enjoying your music. I mean, Taking Over, for instance, is big. You know, we're all listening
is that
to it.
dancehall or high life? Well, Rexoma will tell us. But on Saturday, the good news is that some people or some women in society get to be honored, and amongst them is our own Dzifa Bampoh. She's going to be honored for her excellence in media, together with Eugenia Teshimensin. I know that Shirley Frimpong Manso will be honored. Wiela as well. And we spoke to the CEO of Glitz Africa, Claudia Lumo, on the honor and why she decided to put together such a program. Why these women? So let's see why these women will be honored.
I'm very passionate about it. It's very personal to me because, you know, I mentor a lot of young people, and when I go to schools or universities to talk to people, they're very quick to say that, oh, who are your mentors, to say the Oprahs of this world. And I felt, what are we missing here? Is it that we are not telling the stories of our own Oprahs? Because we have them here as well. I have been a much stronger woman since I moved to Ghana, you know, and maybe it's because I have access to some women who mentor me, who tell me that, Claudia, this is not right, don't do this. But not everybody have access to these women. So I was like, you know what, why don't I use the network of people that I know? And I think that's the relevance of She Summit, for instance, to bring some of the network of women that we meet, and then we think their story is really inspiring, to come and talk to other women. And then the awards as well, tell their stories, let the young people know that me and you, we have no excuse now. You know, I can't relate. It's nice, Oprah, but I can't relate to her. You know, the dooms that we're going through, the problem that we're going through here, she can't connect to that. But if there's a woman that lived in Ghana, have a family, had, you know, whatever she's done, but she's been able to be successful, then that story will touch you.
What do you think that this initiative by you means to these women you're honoring as well?
I think it's amazing for them as well, because, you know, some of them, they're actually surprised because we don't know them, because some of them, it took us even weeks to find them, you know, and at the point when we got to know, like, oh my God, me, you know, so it's such a touching and a humbling experience that in their own corners in the hospital somewhere, somebody has nominated them for being a Woman of the Year, and people see Glitz, it's very glamorous for them, so they don't think that we will come to them, and they're like, oh, are you sure? And it's like, yeah, I mean, this is the board, you know, some of them we have to look for them, and we don't know how to contact them. So I think for them, allowing themselves to use their story to inspire women is something that, you know, people are really excited about.
How do you make returns? Just because it's business, and how do you make returns?
Well, I think, you know, this is, I don't even know how to answer this, because sometimes it's what drives you, you know, that see you through the things that you're doing. I'm not, you know, it's a business. Obviously, I have people to pay. There's a production, and our production, if you've been to Glitz events, is a huge production. So it costs us a lot of money to do this. And, you know, we all know the situation the country is being in. You know, I knock on every door, you know, try to get support to do this. And sometimes it's not easy, but the few that support us.
All right, so congratulations to Madame Dzifa Bampoh. We'll be there on Saturday to support you. Mama Jif.
AKA.
Hey, which one is the AKA?
Okay, let's carry on.
She's in the newsroom. I'll go and ask her. Anyway, so let's talk about the Glitz Women of Power magazine. She has 4 women in government or in power in front of that. How did she get them, and what did she seek to achieve with that?
We've just changed the government, so, and I think you know, even when they started the campaign and everything, most of the women were saying there's not enough women in parliament, there's not enough women in leadership. So it was just beautiful to see that, you know, we have our first chief of staff, you know, communication, like a lot of the women, and especially communication is interesting because now in our communication sector, you know, it's about 5, right? And about 4 of them are all female CEOs, you know, so it's an exciting time, I think, to be a woman in Ghana. So it was just a beautiful thing to do. I think it was just perfect. But every quarter we have a different theme. So this quarter our attention was on women of power, because also International Women's Month, Mother's Day. So just sitting nicely with the quarter. But other quarters will be about something else.
No, how come a lot of men don't think that we make good leaders?
I'm not sure if men think that we don't make good leaders, to be quite honest. I think because one of the leaders I've met as well was saying that they say, oh, you're here to, like, they're everywhere now. We're really giving them a run for their money, right? But I think, you know, the reason why I feel like people are paying attention and people are, you know, advocating for more women is because there's not enough of us, you know, and in leadership, women in leadership. And it's just a natural thing. A lot of men are there, but I don't think that women are, you know, necessarily better leaders. It's the right kind of woman that's supposed to be there. It's not because we want a woman, so a woman should be there. It's the right kind of woman. And that's the beautiful thing about the cover, because I feel like these women that are, you know, in this leading position are just the right women to be there. It's not because I feel they're just women. They are there because they're very capable to handle the job.
All right, so those were the women of power. But quickly before I go, you know, Banky W and Adesua had their introduction over the weekend. Now here's comedian Shei Law in Nigeria talking about how he received the news, just like we in Ghana here. And speaking of who he would have sent a DM to if he wasn't married.
Where was I? I was at home.
Okay.
And do you know what? My cousin from the United States was the one that actually called to announce that Banky proposed to this. So I thought, we're actually shooting the wedding party too. And so I felt, probably it's one of those stunts from the movie. But then I went to his page and then I saw this stuff and I was like, wow. So Banky W could actually hide a proposal from February to announce it in May. And then we are complaining that he thought Tony hid his marriage. No. Yoruba demons. Oh my God. can hide someone's destiny.
Thank you.
Banky W.
Okay, now if you were not married, who would you have slide in your DM if you were married?
If I went married, yeah. Zainab.
Are you serious? Zainab, look at me. I'll tell her.
I told her today, you know, my wife was right there, and I told her, I said, baby, you remember, this is my celebrity crush, you understand?
All right, so those of you who have watched the wedding party, Zainab was a wedding planner. She was all over the place. Yeah. I don't think I want to have that kind of wedding planner. Anyway, so that'll be for entertainment, Israel. Thanks for having me.
It's exciting to hear that wedding party too.
Yes.
It's an exciting movie, so I like to see the
and I can't wait to see what will happen in 2 because I know that Patient Ozoko has been added. And Chinwe Taloagu, the man who says, oh, Jine Kudi, is in that movie. All right, so see you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. G. Up next, we have Gary L. Smith. And it turns out we have some not so good news. He'll be here to share that with us.